It's Sean here, and we're going to continue my ongoing series. If you're new to the channel, if this is my first video you've seen, this is just one little playlist series I've been doing where I'm going to react to every skateboarding part I ever had, all the way back to like 14 years old in this earliest footage, and I'm 42 now, so you can do the math. I literally thought it was going to take like 2 months at the most. I thought I would do every other day, review a part, or maybe on the weekend, review a part. And I never expected it could have taken 2 years. Originally, I made this full-length feature skate video in 2017 called Chaff. So if you just want to search up Chaff skate video, you'll find it. And this one, it's the same footage as what we're going to watch here of me, but it's all mixed in with my friends. Yeah, so this was the full-length video I produced here. But then once I started doing this series, I thought that would be cool to just pull out my own clips out of this video, and then I can make another episode of these reaction videos for 2017. So here we are. If this is your first one of these episodes, I like talking about a lot of different aspects of these parts. So what put me in a position where I had the inspiration to even create a part? Why was I doing this to begin with? What was going on in my life? We're going to touch on that. Then we usually touch on the song choice and music, but this part has no music, so there won't be a section of that. And we also sometimes touch on like the outfits that I got going on, and that's just for fun, just a little analysis. And then at the end we do a trick by trick breakdown, any commentary I have about the particular day. So get comfortable. We're gonna take a look at my 11th part. So what you're seeing here, this is not somebody's first rodeo. When you're 11 parts deep, like, this is somebody who knows what the fuck is going on when it comes to filming, when it comes to trick selection, when it comes to spot selection. Not my first time, and I think that comes across. Also, what I want to say about this is I'm proud of this part. Like, I'm proud of all my parts in a different way. Going back to the beginning ones, like, I'm proud in a little kid sense, kind of like if you win the Little League championship or something at baseball when you're little or something. You're proud of that, but not like as an adult. It's a different kind of proud. But this part stands out of all the parts on just the skateboarding level. Like if I met someone today and I was like, oh, I used to skate. Yeah, I used to mess with skateboarding. And if someone was like, well, did you ever get any good? Like, this is the part that I would send somebody. This is the part that I would show people because I think it's pretty good. I do some hard stuff in here. And not only hard stuff, but like, I feel like this part is apparent that like this dude fucking knows how to skate. I think it shows everything I did thus far to get to this point. All the work I put in, the friends I made, what I learned about filming, what I learned about editing. Like, I think this looks like somebody who's gone 11 parts deep. And in all the other older parts I watch, I always have all these criticisms where I'm like, oh, I chose that fucking lame song, or I did that trick really stupidly, or why did I choose that one trick selection? But this part, like, this is kind of why I didn't put music on it, is because I didn't want anything to taint this. Like, I just did what I did. I skated how I felt like skating in the moment, and it's high level of skating, and I didn't want anything to pollute that in the future. Like, I'm proud of this to stand on its own, and I'm proud of the work that I put in to be able to do something like this, and I couldn't do probably hardly any of this shit anymore 8 years later or whatever. Backstory. So in the last part we looked at, it was 2016, and I told you I was self-employed, had my own web dev clients, and I was trying to live out this romantic vision of like being that stereotype van lifer who has my own independent clients, and I can just travel around and I can work when I want and I can skate anywhere I want when I'm traveling. That was like this romantic vision that I had thought of for 5 years, trying to like achieve that, and I had achieved it. I did take a few van life trips, but the money was rough. You know, I guess it was just hard. It's hard. Like, I didn't quite make enough to really live that lifestyle, and I was trying to do more than is possible with the level of income I was at and the place I was at in life. And so this is like a year later. I ended up finding myself back in Eugene, Oregon, which is basically my hometown. I don't exactly have a hometown because I've lived so many places. I've moved like 50 times, like literally over 50 times. Not exaggerating. I had been really focused on trying to build my career for a couple years before this and being independent, and skating was less of a focus. And when I came back to Eugene, all the friends were there from growing up who I used to skate with growing up, who I hadn't been hanging out with for a long time. I almost felt as if I had like no excuse not to skate. I'm like, well, your body's able. You're better at skating than you've ever been because you've been practicing it your whole life. You live in a place with all these friends who are just like hitting you up all the time to go skate and get clips. Like, why wouldn't I? But on top of that, the self-employment thing, like I had been at it for, I don't know, like 5 years, 4 or 5 years. And I was reaching the point of disillusionment and burnout with that, where as before I used to just lock myself up in the office and only skate when I felt like I needed exercise, and very rarely. And I thought I was going to keep building the self-employment career, making more and more money, and get to a point where I was like stable. And that's what I was focusing really hard on. And in this year, I was reaching this point of disillusionment where it is just so hard. Like when it comes to like self-employment taxes, when you're trying to work for yourself, and not only do you have to do the work that you sign with your clients, you have to also be the marketer and the leads creator, and you have to be constantly searching leads and constantly lining up work like months in advance. And it's so much. And if you were making like 150K, 200K a year doing that, then maybe you could find a way to just make that your whole life and be dedicated to that. But my first couple years self-employed, it was like 40 grand that I made, and like 48 grand, and then I made like 55 grand. And I think at this point, like the very highest I made in the year leading up to this, and this is like dedicating myself just like fully to the self-employed hustle, I made like 60 grand, or like around 60 grand, maybe a little more. And with the cost of living increase, that is just like not enough. And I was doing everything on the cost cutting side. I had moved in with this, I don't use this term lightly, but just a drug hoe off of Craigslist. I found like literally the cheapest apartment in all of Eugene, in downtown Eugene, to be a roommate. I told myself, I'm like, man, I'm too judgmental of people. Like, if I'm serious about hustling for money, I should be willing to like live in any circumstance. I should be able to be cool in any circumstance with any type of person. I should be able to create my own reality and not be disturbed by that. I shouldn't be such a princess about stuff like that. So I just like moved into literally the cheapest apartment, a roommate situation in Eugene with a stranger. And she was this drug ass hoe bitch that never had any good interactions with this person. And this also, the reason I'm telling this is because it contributed to why I got all this footage. Is like I hated being at home, and I knew I was only going to be in Eugene for like this year, and I didn't want to go through all the craziness of like moving again. I was hoping like she could just keep to herself and do her thing, and I could keep to myself and do my thing, and we could be civil with each other. But that was very one-sided. Like, this is an immature person who had no experience with roommates, no experience managing her fucking I don't even want to get into it, but I've had dozens of roommates, and I know how you have to be to have sacrifices and be courteous, and this person didn't know about that stuff. And so I had this hellish home situation. So all these factors were intersecting to where like I never wanted to be at home. So you combine all that, and I just took advantage of this year, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take a step back in my professionalism. I'm going to take a step back in my adulthood. I'm going to give it one last outing of like being a kid again, even though, so I would have been, I would have been like 34, 35 at this point. So obviously a grown man, but I'm like, I'm going to give it one last shot. I'm going to go out here and just like have fun. Whatever clips I always wanted to try or get, I'm gonna go for it now. And that's where this came about. All right, so let's touch on these outfits. It's just something I like to break down. Right here, we got the 70s. This is like a Coach Frank kind of look. So where these outfits came from is, like I said, I used to care too much. I was so self-conscious as a young man in the younger videos of not only did my trick have to look right, I had to be wearing the exact like street cred outfit for like the exact subgenre of skating that I was into. I had to look a certain way, and I like overly obsessed about it, like a girl in the mirror getting her hair ready or and her makeup ready or something. That's the level of how much I obsessed and cared about it. And so here, you know, camo tights with like ultra high shorts, like this is on purpose. Like I'm trying to be silly. I'm trying to be like, who gives a shit? I got no money. I've got these old jeans. Let's cut them like as short as possible to the point where people want to like talk shit and be offended by it. And I'm literally going to just do that and like own it and wear tights because it's comfortable and it's kind of fun and it looks like some kind of action figure, like superhero. Like I just like really didn't care. So you get outfits like this where I was just like in the baggy ass football jersey. And this is inspired by like growing up watching like Stevie Williams and Josh Kalis and all these different outfits. Everyone had their own flavor. And I might have always thought to myself when I was younger, like, oh, that'd actually be kind of fun to just like dress like a OG in some baggy like sports clothes and like hit the skate clips. But I never allowed myself to do it because I was like too paranoid about my street cred level and all that. And so you get outfits like this in this one where it's purely for the sake of having fun. Little blunt fakie, purely for the sake of having fun, just trying to look like it's football practice. So now we'll just hit the trick by trick breakdown and we'll wrap this up. This is a schoolyard at the top of South Eugene up in the hills, and this line is totally premeditated. That's why I open up with this line, because it was completely premeditated. Look how high this fence is. That shit is like almost shoulder high. It's like really high. And that's why I threw this clip in here so you could see how high it actually was. And so I just hit the board slide. I don't know what else to do. Unwaxed, just painted bench. And I think the way this line came about is I just wanted to jump that fence because I thought it would look punk. And I was just trying to string something together. And I always felt like I never got enough flat ground tray flips. I had them really good, but throughout my skate career, I think I never filmed enough of them. I was always focused on singles, and I never threw a lot of tray flips in lines, so I just did a little tray flip and a little stanky ankle there on the landing. This took a bunch of tries. When I go back on the other tries, some of them I landed even really a lot better than this. But that's solid enough. It also looks really 90s. You can tell that I'm a 90s guy with that back foot and the shape of that's like just the straight Jamie Thomas right there. Kind of back foot scoop and this kind of pose here. Like kids don't do them like that now. That's like your Jamie Thomas, your Kalis tray flip. When I grew up, that was like the only way to do them. But now kids got that stanky leg and the relaxed thing. But for me, I'm trying to pop that shit when I do it. I'm trying to snap it. I'm trying to jump. I'm trying to catch it as high as I can. I'm not trying to skip it across the ground and look all relaxed with my hands at my side. So it's just different styles. It's all good. Not hating on it. Pop, a couple steps. So yeah, this shit's high. I invite you to go take a look at this in South Eugene and try it yourself. Look at that. My shoe barely even, almost ate shit. Like, it's like rubbing the top of the fence. And I jumped it. So this is like top 5 clips I've ever filmed is this line. Because I like this creativity. Never seen anyone use the spot this way. And the clip turned out good. Thank you, Bannon, my man, for filming. And boom, got a little full body dual hand touch, but I don't care. Me and the boys, this was like such a fun time where I thought I was like done skating, and yet there was like this resurrection of reuniting with all the boys from back in the day. And I would be able to go out here with a bunch of really good dudes and skate together. And some of my funnest memories of skating in my hometown with friends, like some of my all time funnest memories are just like entire days spent at this little park. Uh, and the people make it so much funner just skating with also these like legendary OGs of Eugene, Oregon, who are like the best skaters around there. That just makes it so much fun, and the session just gets such a high level of energy, and everyone feeds off of each other. And anyways, look at this right here. Watch the bottom wheels. This actually popped right there. Look, I'm above the ledge, like ollied out of it. Blunt fakie. It's all good. Nollie nose blunt. Tail slide across the top. Every time I've ever been to the park, I do this tail slide like 50 times. I think I was trying to film a tail slide frontside flip. I always wanted to get, and I never got it. Never got it. The rare Penny Hardaway jersey. I was like flipping shit on eBay as a side hustle while I was doing my job during this time. So I always had these dope like vintage random things that I found. This Penny Hardaway jersey. Just a little tray flip out of the bump. This little Junction City section. So yeah, switch heels like my move. I feel like that would be kind of I think I would lose a regular kickflip before I lost the ability to switch heel. I got it down, and so I just blasted one. And that's not a mini trash can. That's one of those big trash cans. So nice switch heel. I really like this setup, this Ishod Bone Thugs setup with gold trucks. This is like one of my favorite setups I ever had. The shape was really good, and I like the graphic, and it's like metallic and shiny and gangster with the gold. I love it. So yeah, I see if you're blasting switch heels 3 feet in the air over trash cans, you're not new to this shit. You've been in the game, and you're catching it like that. Look at the sole of the shoe over here. It's like I caught it so hard, it's like bending the sole of the shoe in. Switch flip, no slide. So I've landed this a couple times at this park, and I just wanted to get a clip of it. And to this day, this is the one that got away. I never got this clip. I've landed it like 2 or 3 times, but I was going slow when I did it. So here I tried to just blast it. I was going faster. I was really confident. Switch flick. It's right there, and look how close. If that wheel right here, this wheel, if I was just about half an inch out more, I would have made it. Like I'm totally locked in. The foot's there. The lock-in's ready, but that wheel was over the coping, and then boop, it just boop, just stepped up. Wasn't expecting it. Rolls across. No way to step off. Sean Kemp, the vintage jersey. Boom. This shit hurt bad. Just fully already smiling. Just full belly flop onto the corner. Spinal flop. And then I bounced. Literally bounced on the ground. Whatever. One that got away. Shout out Ashley. Shout out Bannon. Man, I had this sick wool like witch's hat. It was like bendable, and I don't know what happened to it. I don't remember getting rid of it. This is right outside that apartment I was talking about where I had a roommate. This is like the first week I moved in, or like the second day I moved in, and the homie Ashley came over, and this is like first or second try. I'm like, all right, dude, film me. Get in the middle of the street on 8th Street. I'm gonna fucking haul ass. I'm just gonna do this line. We're gonna do it in one try. Ollied up there, a little front 180, smiling because I'm enjoying myself, feeling myself. Garbage thrift store clothes, color coordinating the shoes and the jersey. Switch heel, that's my move. Like I said, over the grate, not gonna miss, never gonna miss. And some dudes drove by right here and shouted us out. They're like, "Yeah, man, All right, we went here. This is the middle of the day, but the wildfire smoke was so bad. There were some like legendary West Coast forest fires, and like it was like not healthy to even be outside. Like we should not have been outside. Like hurt your lungs and give you health problems. Fully smelled like a campfire, wildfire smoke. And the mission was I wanted to go 80 miles an hour. I wanted to Smith grind this entire ledge. That's what I was trying to do. And I really thought it was possible. I really thought I could do it, but the thing's higher than it looks. And so here I ollied from about a little more than half and got on it for, that's a good 12-foot Smith grind, but that's not the whole thing. You would have had to do, that looks like 22 feet or something. So pretty dope though. I like that because of how fast I was going. Like since I was a kid, like this is what I was always had in my mind as it becoming good at skating is I wanted to be the guy that was going this fast. It's like hauling fucking ass right there. That's how I always wanted to do it from the beginning. I wanted to be coming through spots fast. I didn't want to be messing around going slow. Portland one day, I took a skate trip to Washington with the homies, Bannon and Ashley, and we skated in Washington one weekend, and then on the way back, we just pulled over and hit the spot. And this is a pretty big ollie to get up that. So I did a front 180 up the 2 block. Oh, and it was like, it's over 100 degrees on this day. It was like 102 degrees. Cab off. It was easy too. And this is where, like I said, the experience comes in. It's like I know at this point what my bag of tricks are. I know what I'm going to be able to do easy. I know what's worth it to film. And so this is just trick selection. I know I can 180 up that anytime I want. I know I can probably cab off this in like a try or two. So I just linked it together. Back tail, got the chain slapping, extra tight. These are the tightest slacks I've ever appeared in a skate clip. I didn't mean to make them that tight. They got really tight. Got the high cuffed slacks and the bouncing around chain. And I did a nollie nose grind after that. Did the nollie heel. And I turned around and I did a nollie nose grind all in one line. Just some little ollies, WJ before it was a hell on earth. I don't have tranny skating. I'm not good at transition, so that was like ollieing off of a A-frame bump into the tranny. Switch front crook. This is another one of those where, like I was saying about that flat ground tray flip, this is one where I've done a bunch of like really dope switch front crooks before. Really good ones that I never got filmed. And that's the whole theme of this video, is thinking of things like, okay, this is your last chance. Like, what did you want to get filmed in Eugene? What tricks did you want to get that you never got a good example of? Like, this is your big last chance. So, yeah, just tried to get an example of my switch crook with a little fakey ollie out, little Steve's foot on the front there, holding on to it with the yoga pose. Steve's foot right there. So that apartment I was talking about in Eugene this year, it's literally 2 blocks from this park. So I would come down here sometimes 11 at night, 12 at night, 2 in the morning. And there's like always people here any time of day. And I'd be able to just come down here, not even any trouble, just right down the street. So this is purely for the clip. I just had some random kids film this in the middle of the night one time, and I knew I could do it. I've done these a lot at Springfield, up the step up and stuff. Not that hard. Just did it for the sake of the clip. Back to JC, the Tom Penny do-rag, full speed backlip, shitty front tail. This clip, this is the only one where it's regrettable. This dad bod right here. It doesn't look so bad there, but look. The fucking belly right there. Check the belly right there. Only a couple seconds of this part that I don't like is when it shows the belly. I was smoking a lot of weed during this time, and your boy was eating good. Your boy was snacking. So we had the stoner belly going on. Blast in the nollie heels. I'm just gonna suggest that you've never seen a better nollie heel out of this bank at JC. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Just gonna suggest that. Front tail. Yeah, so all these tricks, it's like I'm not trying to like outdo my younger self. I'm trying to just occupy my own skin and do what I know I've got and do it looking good. Same thing here. Hard flip. I love downhill lines. Hard flip's another trick that it's one that I've got really good, and I for some reason never filmed good examples of it. And that once again, that's the theme of this whole part, is like, what did I never get a good thing of? Like, let's try to get that before it's all said and done in life. And I love downhill lines. There's like an Instagram page, I think, called like No Push Lines, where it's all just like downhill stuff, and I really like that. I'm always looking for spots with a gentle slope where you can just speed check, power slide, and just cruise downhill the whole time. And the point of this one was I wanted to do my biggest ollie. That I could while going downhill here. And the footage looks shitty. It doesn't look like much, but if you go here and you measure this, okay, so I ollied from that pole. If you go here and measure this is literally like an 18-foot ollie. is literally like, I don't know, 16-foot, 18-foot ollie. It doesn't look like much on the clip. A little nose bump, a little power slide, smiling, loving it. This is, skateboarding at its best is when you're doing the exact thing that you think is the most fun, the exact trick that you have the most fun doing, and at the spot you think is fun. And that's why I'm smiling here. It's like, if you were to interview me about like what are the funnest spots and what are the funnest tricks, I'd be like, well, I like downhill, I like really smooth ground, I like going fast, and I like popping high ollies. So that's where the smile's coming from. It's like super pure here. And power slides, I like power slides. Just like really enjoying myself, smiling there. And then 180 over this puddle. I just improvised that on the spot. You can't see it, but there's a big river of puddle going across here. I just 180'd it. And then same thing here. I improvised this too. This is the highest speed switch flip I've done in my life right here. You can't tell, but I was going really fast. Like a 15 mile per hour switch flip. Clean. Back tail, the rail, Springfield, nice one. Look at the steez right away. Smith down the thing. This is all like first try, easy shit. This is October, almost the end of the skate season. Got the dad bod still there, but not looking as bad as that other clip. Stalefish, no reason at all. I used to do stalefish a lot when I was little in California, and that was like a really cool trick in the 90s, and then I watched that not become a cool trick. Nobody does stalefish anymore, and I just thought how I never got a trick on this A-frame thing before, and it was just a spur of the moment. I'm like, what if I did a stalefish? Just messing around. Whole Foods Market, Eugene, Oregon. This is right when they built it, and they had these benches outside. I was trying to think. I knew that there was some really good clip to get here, but I couldn't figure out how to use these benches. And so this was a throwaway clip where I just like back 180'd it first try, trying to think of like the real clip to do. And I couldn't think of what the real clip was, so we just got this back 180 first try. Interesting style choice there. We got a platinum chain. We got a fat platinum chain with a Samothrace doom metal shirt. I'm kind of feeling it. Interesting choice. This is that skate trip up to Washington. I tried to just rifle off what do I have in this park, and this shit's hard to skate. It's got the asphalt as the ground. So we got your Switch manual in the Jordan jersey because I was dealing vintage sports gear so I could wear this stuff all the time. Jordan jersey, Switch Manny, easy, 1 or 2 tries. This is a whole story that I could get into, a whole video on its own of this experience, but for a brief moment in 2017 in spring, I lived in this house full of Arab college students who barely spoke English. It's a really long story, but guys from Yemen and Saudi Arabia and I think another country too, mostly Saudis. And I made friends with all these boys, and one of these boys is filming this, and he must have just thought Americans are so fucking weird. I told him exactly how to film this. I'm like, okay, get the fisheye, like walk backwards and follow me along this curb, and I'm gonna ride this funny ass board. What the fuck even happened to this board? Like, I don't even remember. I know I had it at one point. I have no idea where that board went. But this is actually way harder than it looks. Overshot it a little bit there. Saved it. Went into a grind. It's the same exact width as these miniature roller skate trucks on this little penny cruiser board. Some night clips. Get your backsmith. This stuff was all... I just rifled this stuff off. This is towards the end of the year, so after a whole year of skating with the friends again, I was like pretty dialed. Nollie back heel, switch flip, ollie the thing. So I graduated from U of O, and this is the campus. That's the cafeteria right there. So every time I go here skating or whatever, it's like I spent 4 years, or I spent a bunch of years on campus there. Going to class, so it's always like mad nostalgia coming back. Nice ollie. Ashley, I talked him into this. I'm like, dude, you kickflip everything. You got good kickflips. Like, this clip would be really sick. I think this looks really Eugene. Like, you have to kickflip this. And I just like peer pressured him kind of. I'm like, I know you got it. Like, don't tell me you don't want to do it. Like, get up here right now. Kickflip this ashtray. It's going to look sick. And I was right. Your boy doesn't miss. I know what people are capable of. I know how to bring out the best in what people can do. And if you're in Eugene, you should go look at this thing because that's hard as hell to hit. There's no run up at all. You just take one step onto the board and then give it your best pop. Like, I don't even think I can ollie that thing, because there's no run up. And that's dope right there. That would have been a really good photo right there. That would have been a sick photo. But shot on cell phone, so. And he got it. Giving me the pray emoji. Yeah, Ashley, that was tight. Half cab up, backsmith out, kickflip the hip. This one. All right, so this is my banger section. So all that other stuff was filler, but then starting with this kickflip is where I get serious. All the other stuff was just like day in the life cruising. But I blasted this kickflip, catch it way up here, and then from here on out, it's game on. So yeah, the bucket list things, that's what this part was about. And I always wanted to get a front blunt big spin. And I always knew I could do it. I tried it a few times on benches and stuff. Never got it. And I just made this happen by sheer willpower. I'm just like, I'm not going to be done in the game and never have filmed this trick. I have to film one of these. So I just filmed one real quick. And what I love about this is Ralph right here. Eugene, absolute legend. One of the best skaters in the region. And he was on the sesh that day, and I like that he just happened to catch it. He just happened to see it right when I did it, and he gave me the prayer hands. It's not in the clip, but look at that. You can see the mouth open. could see the mouth open, and then when I roll away, he went like, oh. So I'm like proud of that. I was already an older dude in my 20s when he was like 13 or something back at the Cal Young skate park locals, like years and years before this, like 15 years before this. So he was like the different generation from me. But he became such a dope skater and dude that I'm like proud now watching that I was able to get like props from Ralph. Wasn't a great blunt big spin, but I did that shit. This one here, got the nollie half cab heel over the bar, and it actually touched, because a lot of people skate this way, but where they set the bar, it's way too close to the bank, so you have to pop really early. And then again, this was just like a random night, just came down 2 blocks from my apartment and saw a kid I knew there, Boren, happened to be there. I'm like, Boren, shoot this real quick. And he was like over it. He was on his way out and he was like not trying to film. I'm like, but I really got this. Like, let's just get this real quick. Can you just shoot this for me? And I felt bad because he was over it. He was like, dude, I'm out of here. Dude, I'm out of here. I'm like, no, one more, please, please, please. So I would have kept doing this one to get it like really clean, but he was super over it, and I'm like, okay, thanks for the clip. So I'm like bobbling it. It's not that clean, and I also bounced the. It literally hit the bar. It hit the bar right there. It went bing, and then that made it suction cup up to my feet. Kickflip melon. On this day, I hiked with a friend of mine who doesn't skate. I hiked some mountain. We spent like we did like a 2-hour hike right before this, and it was like a hot summer day, so I was already like exhausted when I got here, but I was all loosened up from the hike. My muscles were all warm, and I just like rifled this off really fast. Just like, let's do this kickflip melon. And once again, trick selection. It's like I know I've got kickflip melons looking like Andrew Reynolds from like 97, but I never filmed like examples of them. So that's all these clips in this part is just like trying to knock those things out. This one here got the Stevie Williams inspired switch front nose. I like this clip. I think that's the highest switch front nose I ever did. I like the Steezy right there, the platinum chain. The platinum chain Steezy look back. Then this is Eugene's got a Frank Lloyd Wright building, world renowned architect, and I've tried so many times. Well, for one thing, the moment you even look at this place and you walk up with your skateboard, you're getting busted by federal security. Comes out and they're like super not happy about it. They're bummed if you try to skate this, so it's like impossible. Basically 7 days a week, basically all around the year, it's like impossible to skate this building. So I wanted, again, bucket list. I had seen this building here for 10 years or whatever, wanted to get something, and I thought there had to be a way to ride this sculpture, and I never got a clip here before. So I just tried really, really hard, and then the homie Nicky P, absolute fucking skateboard legend right here, watching. I think that's what pushed me over the edge to force this trick to happen, is I had a couple of my friends out here, Nicky P watching. I can't be a bitch in front of Nicky P. I got to make it happen. So this thing, it looks like this would be easy, but if you go here and look at it for yourself, these little folds in the metal, they're exactly at a distance. It's like shorter than your wheelbase. So the moment you ollie into this, it just like makes you come to a stop because you hit these harsh kinks that are at the same distance as your wheelbase. You just jump in there and it goes, it just like doesn't work. It's like welded aluminum. But I kept trying and I found the angle. And if you just haul ass and you hit it just right, see, this is like you have to do a low ollie. I didn't even lift up my back foot. You have to do a low ollie. And then you have to look at the precision where the back wheels land. I only like Like I just landed like 1 inch beyond the edge here of the metal without hanging up, and then just tried to like throw my body up it. And some of the other ones I got even higher. Like some of the ones I got the front wheel to like here, and I wanted it to be like that. I wanted it to go like vert and like fly out of this vert one was what I was trying for. If you see me make that face, you know that it's at like the limit of my ability, because your boy is not looking that strained on most tricks I do, but this was hard. This was like full maximum focus, and you also had to not hit your hands on the sculpture. You can see I'm like tucked in here. Ride it up through the kinks, got the front wheels barely up onto the vert one, and then just halfway up that last one, that last kink here. This would have made a cool photo too if I had a photographer here that day, right there. Boom. Get it all cool with the sculpture. That would have been a good photo. Just yanked it off. Nothing much. Sloppy landing. He's like, yeah, dog. That's like what makes me the happiest. Like dudes that I love and respect, and who are dudes who just like really blow me away as skaters. When they give me props for what I do, which I think is like, I'm not on the level of Nicky P. This guy is a skate god right here. And he was like hyped on this. Like, yeah, dog. So that's like my favorite moment probably in that clip, just because all those factors, the legendary architecture spot and hitting it in a way that nobody else saw and pulling it off and getting the props from the dude. Yeah, that's it. That's my 2017. Crazy year. I mean, we could do a whole documentary about how crazy this year was besides just the skating. But that's your trick by trick breakdown. So not going to take any more of your time. That's the breakdown. Hope you liked it. We have one more part in this series, and we'll finally wrap up this 2-year project. I can't believe it took 2 years, but we got one more part to review. Come back for that. Smash the subscribe. I hope you liked this breakdown, and thanks for watching. We'll see you later.